Excellent. So I will start with some breaking news. The Tyngsborough Public Schools are closed tomorrow. So you heard it here
Ooh,
first, unless you're subscribed to their email alerts, in which case you heard it here second. But on that same note, the last few weeks have obviously been very active winter weeks with a few good snowstorms, but also lots of icing. Prior to the Town Manager Act, the Select Board was required to formally vote to authorize deficit spending in the snow and ice account. As all of you are likely aware from prior years, there's only one municipal funding source that you are legally permissible to overspend, and that's snow and ice. Every year we budget 250,000. Every year we overexpend it. The reason that we keep it at 250 is because it adds flexibility elsewhere in the budget, and we generally use free cash to close the funding gap. So as of January 21st, because I don't have the numbers from what was a blockbuster storm yesterday into today, we are $70,000 into a deficit. This is in line with where we were at this point last year. And again, with all the snow that fell yesterday and into today, I'm sure that that number has increased. So what you will see is at an October special town meeting, a request to use free cash to close that deficit. On that same note, I do want to just take a minute to share my appreciation for the hard work of our DPW crews. The Highway Division has been out almost nonstop since Saturday or Sunday morning, keeping roads clear and passable. And our Facilities Division has been out just as long, clearing municipal parking lots and ensuring that all of our facilities are ready to open tomorrow. Town offices, the library, and the Center for Active Living will operate regular schedules tomorrow. And our facilities crews have ensured that that will happen uninterrupted. Our DPW superintendent, Jake Zwicker, was out with the DPW folks throughout the storm. We were in touch late into the night and early in the morning. And fortunately, there were very little issues. I spoke to our public safety folks again this morning. There were no serious accidents. I think Chief Russell joked that not even a twig had fallen. No substantial power outages. So, aside from all of the folks that had to shovel, it was a relatively easy storm in terms of a public safety perspective. A note that nomination papers are now available for the May 2026 annual town election. Residents can obtain those nomination forms in the office of the town clerk through March 26th. The deadline to turn in completed nomination papers is March 31st. And if you visit tyngsboroughmay.gov, there's a scroller on the homepage that has all the information, the important deadlines, how you vote, where to register to vote, and you can also check your voter registration status. Last week, we announced the fiscal year 27 budget office hours. Our first one will be on Tuesday, April 7th, followed by Wednesday, April 15th, and Wednesday, April 22nd. We'll host one in the evening at Town Hall, in the afternoon at the Center for Active Living, and then one in the evening via Zoom. This follows the same format that we used in the last 2 years. We implemented these 2 years ago with the goal of creating an informal setting for residents to get familiar with the budget process, as well as the proposed budget. We found them to be traditionally very well attended. I think those that attend the budget office hours, and I believe that every one of you has attended it, has an opportunity to very informally ask questions that they may otherwise not feel comfortable asking at town meeting. And again, we joke about this all the time. We can spend 45 minutes debating a zoning amendment article, and then in 3 seconds, we approve the town's $50 million budget. So our goal here was really to help residents develop a sense of ownership, and I think that that has happened. I'm happy to share that the town was once again awarded a cybersecurity training grant. So for all of our staff and members of the board that have a Tyngsborough May email, this means that you've been enrolled in another year of your cybersecurity training. The training is not just important to ensure that we don't have a significant breach like many municipalities have over the last few years, but it also helps us maintain our very competitive cybersecurity insurance policy. As the cybersecurity world becomes more vulnerable, insurance policies are either becoming harder to get or more expensive. And by participating in the extensive cybersecurity work that we do, we've been year over year able to renew our policy and also renew it at very decent rates. So I'm appreciative to all of the staff that take time out of their day to do it. I'm appreciative to the board members that participate as well. And certainly our IT department is incredibly pleased. On a staffing front, I would like to wish a congratulations to our newest police officers. Officer Aaron LeMay and Officer Brian Walker will graduate from the Massachusetts Police Training Committee's Police Academy on Thursday. They're graduating from the 36 recruit officer course and will promptly begin their field training here in Tyngsborough before being able to assume solo patrol responsibilities later this spring. Chief Woods was originally supposed to be here this evening to introduce them and do a pinning ceremony, but Given the virtual nature of our meeting, he will be before you at your meeting on February 9th, and we'll have those officers with him as well. And then just a couple reminders and upcoming events. The Council on Aging will host a paint and sip with non-alcoholic beverages on Wednesday, January 28th at 6 p.m. at the Center for Active Living. A reminder that there's a primary for the special state election on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. This is for the election to replace or to fill the vacancy left by the passing of the late Senator Kennedy. Um, the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can vote by absentee mail now. And again, if you visit tyngsboroughma.gov or contact our town clerk's office, they can help you find all of your voting options. And then the Tyngsborough Health Department and the town clerk's office will host their second annual rabies vaccine clinic and dog licensing event on Saturday, February 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Ironwood Park in the clubhouse. Walk-ins are welcome, or you can register online by visiting tyngsboroughma.gov. Dogs must be on a leash and cats in a carrier, and the cost for a vaccine is $20.
This week, we released a request for proposals for the Northeast Public Health Alliance, or NEFA, as it's more commonly called, for which Tyngsborough serves as the fiscal lead. The RFP seeks a consultant to help the Alliance with its strategic planning initiative to help better plan for the needs of all member communities. The work's funded directly through the grant. RFPs are available beginning today and are due Monday, February 23rd. 2026, and more information on the RFP, including the documents itself, can be found at tyngsboroughma.gov/bids.aspx.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for that. I will open it up to the board for questions. So we'll go in the same order. Select person Coughlin.
Yeah, no questions. Just want to comment on the great job that the plows are doing, and it was a monster of a storm, and I haven't really stepped out, but my street looks pretty good. So, and I've heard great things so far about other roads in the town. So, thank you.
All right. Select person Cohane.
Also, kudos to the DPW crews. As always, they did a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you. Select person Eldridge.
Broken record. Yeah, a lot of hours. This was a long storm, so I'm sure the guys are really tired. So thanks to the DPW and our contractors. I know we had a lot of contractors. I know a lot of folks have been lamenting some of the challenges of early season storms that we had, those 1 to 2 inch ones, which it's not worth it to go out and plow and sand and do all those things. And people are like, oh, but this storm really showed that, hey, when we go out there and we have to go through and address real storms, our folks are just top notch. And I went out this morning first thing, and I was shocked at how clear the roads were that early. It was just amazing. So, and I'm so glad to hear that from a public safety standpoint that the residents were smart in their driving, and we didn't have people that were thinking that they have all-wheel drive and that they can just drive around wherever they are. So glad to hear that we got through whatever 18, 19 inches that we've got unscathed. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Select person Gilfus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Props to DPW. And certainly there's been a lot of nice conversation on Facebook about how well the roads have been cleared in town. I saw people posting on a local meteorologist page bragging about how great Tyngsborough looked and how clear the roads were. So kudos to that. I am curious, do you have a sense, Colin, of why the schools decided to close tomorrow? I mean, I haven't left my house in 36 hours, so I don't actually know how it is out there. But if the roads are as clear as it sounds like they are, what else factors into that? Do you know?
Yeah, certainly it's not. So the roads are relatively clear. I think I've not looked away from this computer screen, but we were expecting a few more inches tonight, likely. But the other thing is that all of our efforts during the heat of the storm are keeping the roads passable. There's still substantial work left to do in terms of pushing back intersections, clearing corners that are tough to make turns, certainly factoring in students that have to, wait where there's a big snow mound right now. So it's not as simple as if the roads are all right. It's really about making sure that we have the time to do some of the detailed work that can't happen until we've kind of gotten out of the immediate storm mode.
That's very helpful information. A question that I had before you mentioned that, when you talked about the snow and ice account, how does that work in terms of budget? Do we budget anything in that account, or do we always run it as a deficit and then pay it back at the end of the season when we know how much we've actually spent?
We always budgeted at 250,000. That we've been doing that for probably 6 or 7 years. The reason you don't want to over budget is because once you budget the money, it's unavailable for any other purpose until typically, you know, the special town meeting after you've closed your books. So if you over budget, let's say you budget 500,000, you only use 300, you've kind of left that $200,000 unavailable to touch. At the 250,000, generally we do go over it and then we make up for it through free cash. It's the one line item in a municipal budget that doesn't automatically count as a deficit when DOR reviews your books, is the simplest way to put it.
Yeah, I can imagine that the Commonwealth has needed to make that delineation because every community is dealing with the same uncertainty of how weather works. So, okay, thank you. And then a question for Sean. When you talked about, did you say NEFA? NEPA?
NEFA, yeah, the Northeast Public Health Alliance.
NEFA. Two questions. Could you clarify what it means to be the fiscal lead and which other communities are in NEFA?
Yeah, it's Tyngsborough, Billerica, Chelmsford, and I believe Drake. Colin, correct me if I'm wrong on the last one.
Tewksbury,
Tewksbury, yes. Tewksbury.
not Drake.
Yep, thank you. So Tyngsborough basically serves as the procurement lead. So now that we're issuing an RFP, as we've done for the Board of Health and NEFA in the past, everything goes through our office. So from that standpoint, we take care of it. We issue the RFP. So it's not Chelmsford, it's not Tewksbury, it's not Billerica. It basically allows us to be the point for that organization in relations with the state, in relation to all things procurement and otherwise.
That's
It's
so nice.
basically ease of operations, so we know it all funnels through one place, and we don't have Tewksbury doing one thing working in a different direction than Chelmsford or Billerica or us.
The only other thing I noticed that it also comes with a financial benefit. So as the lead, we applied for the grant as the lead community. A portion, a very small portion, but a portion nonetheless of our health director's salary is subsidized through the grant. And then there are certain administrative charges and expenses that come back to Tyngsborough that don't go back to the other communities. So Sean's correct. We run the grant for all intents and purposes, but we also have that positive financial piece to it.
That's great. Did we just like request to be the fiscal lead and the other communities acquiesced, or like how did that happen? Do we get nominated?
This is
only
our
have a
fourth
certain amount of
year
time?
in the NEFA grant, and I believe the historical passage of it is that our health director approached those other communities asking if they were interested, and we had the capacity at the time to be the lead, and so it's worked very well. Everybody in the group has the same vote, so NEFA is the name of the organization. They post their meetings, they meet and decide how to use the grant. So it's not like we get to control everything, it's just that we agreed to be the lead.
I just think that's nice. I think that this is yet another example of the way that our town really steps up for the region, and that we have really strong staff that thinks about community partnerships. And I think this is really lovely. So thanks for bringing this to us, Sean.
Sorry.
That's it. Sure.
Okay, and might as well go with the DPW, go 5 for 5, and kudos once again to the DPW for the great job that they did for this storm and for every storm. My other comment is on your budget office hours, Colin, and I'm glad you're doing this. I think we cannot emphasize enough to the townsfolk, this is not our budget. This is not, your budget, Colin. This is the town's budget. Everyone has, an equal say in this budget. As Mr. Cohen always points out, we are just one vote. But everyone has a vested interest in understanding this budget, in voicing their concerns, asking their questions. So I'm glad that you're doing this. I think it's a very important thing that we put out there and make available to people. So thank you.